Today is all about roasting coffee. We're gonna go through the whole process, from getting the order, roasting it on this big machine, putting it in the package, boxing it up, and getting it out to the post office. Every new order is like starting a new chapter in a book. It's full of potential, because you don't know exactly how it's gonna turn out, but you hope it's gonna be a bestseller. Take a look at these beans, each from a different place, with its own story, much like us. Hawaiian Kona, Panama. Ethiopian Decaf, Bahia, Brazil. Ethiopian Guji, Bali, Indonesia. Dominican Red Honey. All of these beans come from small farms around the world, where the farmers use organic processes. They're some of the best beans in the world. It's a reminder of how diversity enriches our lives. We have to weigh the beans. Precision matters in coffee, just like in life. Whether it's the ingredients in a recipe or the elements of our daily life. Too much, too little, things just don't taste right. Some of them have this little brown stuff around. It's called chaff. It's a little bit of leftover from the drying process. Now, this comes off in the roaster. Let's get the roaster set up. This thing here, it's called a trier. It's got a little hole in there. You can take a little sample out, give it a smell, look at it in the light, see if it's good. This little handle opens up to let the coffee out when it's done roasting. This here spins around, and a vacuum pulls the hot air away from the beans so they can cool quickly. Here's two motors on the back. This one here runs the fan into the chaff collector. That little stuff we talked about, it goes in here. This motor turns the drum. Temperature gauges. This is where we load the beans. It's like a hopper. This is the brains. And all of these cords are connected to this computer, where we can control the fan speed, the temperature, and the heat. Also the rotation of the drum. Let's fire it up and get it warmed up for some coffee roasting. Gotta turn on the gas. The roaster transforms raw beans into something amazing. It's a bit like personal growth. With a bit of time in the right environment, we transform into a better version of ourselves. Roasting is all about time and temperature. Knowing when to turn up the heat and cool things down. Similar to life, isn't it? Knowing when to push forward, when to take a step back, makes all the difference in the world. This is a commercial grinder. Some people don't have a grinder, so we'll grind it for them. This is a bag sealer. We use it to seal our bags. It's got a little coil of metal right here, and a little piece of rubber up here. This little coil heats up when you push it down. On the inside of these bags, above the zipper, there's a little plastic lining. This gets melted by the sealer. Now, roasting is like art. Everybody does it a little different, and every batch of beans is also a little different. There's a different amount of water in each bean, depending on the location where it came from, who grew it, and how they decided to dry it. It all matters. So, we have to change the way that we roast almost every time we roast. Here's where the computer takes all those data points for temperature and starts plotting them on a graph. The orange line, that's our exhaust temperature. The green line is the bean temperature. When the beans reach between 170 and 190 Celsius, 7 to 9 minutes, they reach a point that's called first crack. It's almost like popcorn. You'll actually hear a crack, 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 crack the coffee is expanding. After about a minute and a half, the beans stop popping. This is the end of first crack. This is generally where we stop seeing a light roast and we start to move into a medium roast. If you keep going, you get to another point called second crack, where the coffee actually pops again. This is the beginning of a dark roast. I generally don't go that far with my coffee because I buy coffee that's perfect as a light or a medium roast. But I can do dark roast. Look at that. It looks perfect. Look at how perfect these beans are. We weigh again after roasting to check our work. It's a good life lesson. Always reassess and adjust, especially because some of our work gets lost during the process, like these beans. They lose a little weight during the roasting, and so we adjust based on the results we're seeing. Putting these roasted beans into the bag, we're preparing them for the journey, just as we prepare ourselves for a new venture. Sealing the bag locks in the freshness. It's like preserving a moment in time. Every label tells a story. The roast on date, April 1st, 2024. And I like to put my initials down there with a little smiley face. That way you know it was me. This box isn't just a container, it's a vessel for delivery. Much like how we package our talents and gifts, sending them out into the world hoping they'll be received well. Shipping label has a destination. It's a goal, a dream. Dropping off this package, we're entrusting it in someone else's care. Much like our own relationships, it's a leap of faith, trusting that it's going to go where it's meant to be.